This post from the Childfree subreddit was reposted on Reddit on Wiki. Okay, so she says, a couple of months ago, me and my boyfriend were having relationship issues, like arguing every time we talk to each other kind of issues. During one of these arguments, he admitted that he resents me for getting sterilized. I got sterilized last August after getting a consultation and approved earlier in May. Roe getting overturned put me into overdrive, and I was able to find a doctor willing to sterilize me very easily. I counted myself lucky and scheduled the surgery. I had to go through the trouble of finding insurance that would cover it because I just turned 26 and lost my parents' coverage. My boyfriend didn't want me to go through with it because even though I told him before we got together that I didn't want kids, he still wanted the option to have kids. He begged me up and down not to go through with it, to wait longer, wait until he had time to process it, but I went through with it. To his credit, he actually called out of work to be there after I got out of surgery, and he stayed at my house with me until he had to go back to work. But the whole time, my recovery did not seem to be a priority to him, especially after I got hit with severe anxiety later that week. He dragged me out of the house to hang out with him at a coffee shop when I couldn't function as a ball of nerves. I asked him to stay with me one night, and he had the audacity to say I wasn't putting out enough sexually, while I still had severe anxiety and literally couldn't have sex because of the surgery. Back to the argument. The whole time he was telling me about how my sterilization made him feel, that he wasn't ready. He wasn't given time to accept it. The option of having kids was taken away from him. He took my sterilization as a personal attack that I didn't want his kids. Well, I clapped back and said he still had the option because his shooter still works. That it wasn't just his kids I didn't want, it was anyone's. That a big part of the reason I got sterilized is because I was tired of having pregnancy anxiety every time we had sex because he refuses to use a condom. Oh, okay. Red flags right there. That I couldn't keep spending money on Plan B pills just to have peace of mind, and that I certainly wasn't going to risk it in a state that had a 6-week abortion ban trigger law after Roe got overturned. I know I wouldn't have heard the end of it if I didn't get sterilized, but I refused any and all sex. It wasn't about his comfort, his pleasure, what he wants to do. God forbid I want to be safe. He brought up that he offered to get a vasectomy instead of me getting sterilized because his could get reversed. I told him there's only a chance it can get reversed. It's not guaranteed, and that a reversal will likely not be covered by insurance. His response was, "You're going to say whatever you have to in order to be right, but I'm literally stating facts. Anyone can Google it." She continues with, "I got sterilized over a year ago, and it honestly surprised me that he's been resentful of me over it for this long. Does it mean he lied when he said he respected my decision, that he had gotten into a relationship with me on the presumption that I would change my mind about kids later in life? I told him upfront what I was about, but it's clear he refused to accept it and expected me to change for him, which is incredibly disrespectful. I think he also low key tried gaslighting me to think all the information I had from extensive research was wrong." Anyways, thanks for reading this far. I've been wanting to post this since this argument. She says, "I want to thank everyone so much for all your responses, the supportive ones and the why are you still in this relationship ones alike. I know I need to leave. I'm just working up the nerve to do it. I'm still reading through all the responses, though I haven't been able to reply to all of them. Up until this point, I didn't realize that this post was over a year old because then I see the comments, they're like a year ago. So this person, Miss Shelly T, says, "I hope he's an ex-boyfriend now." And then the OP says he's not, but he probably should be. "We're just not compatible and he doesn't respect me. There were lots of other arguments and problems that led up to this one. The only reason I'm still with him is because he doesn't have anyone else, but now I'm realizing it's his fault for not connecting with other people." And the person at the bottom says, "Yeah, no wonder why no one else wants to stay around him. LOL." And then Graceless says, "Refuses to wear a condom should have been the end of that relationship. He doesn't care about or even respect you." And K Sarah says, "He most likely wanted an oops, because why would you risk that in a state that has a 6-week abortion ban?" And then the OP says exactly this. "I even had a conversation with him yesterday about him being upset that he doesn't have family to spend Thanksgiving with, but his family will literally be having Thanksgiving 20 minutes away from his apartment. He claims that side of his family doesn't count because they're only related through marriage, but also refuses to reach out to his blood related family members that live out of state because he doesn't have anything to say to them. Bombastic side eye. Now, for the final screenshot, it says women are not rehabilitation centers or orphanages for loser men. He is an adult, OP, and his life is solely his responsibility. You deserve so much better. And this person at the bottom says FTFY, and I'm not sure what FTFY means, but it says reread what you've said about this man. He is a sexist, selfish a-hole of the first water. If you took kids off the table and made it about ear piercing, he would still be a sexist, selfish a-hole. He has zero entitlement to your body, your physical and mental health, your future, your financial stability, and so much more things. The thought that he could just swan in and claim because he's so amazingly self-absorbed. Abort. Okay, so like I said, this whole post was a year ago. So I was like, okay, cool. I wonder if she's made any other posts. Okay, so I looked it up. She did actually leave the relationship. This was 8 months ago, where she said, I realize I'm in the quiet quitting phase of my relationship. She says, I watched a YouTube video last night called Are Women Quiet Quitting Their Marriages by Frankly. It's essentially a curated compilation of TikToks of women talking about themselves and others quiet quitting their relationships, the signs, and why. It was very eye opening because it made me realize that's the stage of my relationship I'm in. I'm tired of the conversations that never result in change. I'm tired of the defensiveness when bringing up a concern. I'm tired of the dismissiveness when trying to help, and tired of feeling required to react a certain way to things he says. The last straw that broke the camel's back was a text conversation I had with my boyfriend a few weeks back, which I previously posted about if anyone wants to go read it. It really solidified how little he cares about my responsibilities and thinks his wants should supersede them, and will never show the slightest interest in anything I care about. A lot of the TikToks in the video mention how men are usually blindsided when their partners just up and leave, when the reality is they didn't care to notice the signs since their partner's unhappiness wasn't directly affecting them. I've been emotionally and physically pulling back from my own relationship by being less physically and emotionally present, not calling him in my free time, not going to his place as often, choosing to hang out with friends and family instead, not engaging with his playful banter, which I find annoying, slowly moving anything of mine out of his apartment, giving minimal effort in the conversations we do have. I'm basically treating him like a friend at this point, and not even a close one. A lot of people will probably read this and ask, why not just break up? Well, the comments of the video explain that perfectly. Quiet quitting the relationship is an exit strategy for women so they can physically, emotionally, financially, etc. prepare for the end of the relationship. Then leave when it's safe and will have minimal impact on them. I feel if I broke up with him today, I would feel nothing. The only thing I would miss is our mutual friend who I met through him and Pal World base I built in a server he owns. The relationship is already dead as far as I'm concerned. I just need to pull the trigger and make it official. Now, this woman, she posts a lot. So I know that this is a real person. And I am just glad that, she was able to see the signs and move past it and not get caught up, because this man would have definitely attempted to baby trap her. But I do believe that social media is playing such a big role in women getting those light bulb moments in their brains. So if people think that social media isn't real and these communities aren't real, even the ones that are fake still have a cautionary tale type of impact because women talk about things in the comment section. Anyways, I thought, go ahead. Let me know what you think of this. I thought it was definitely interesting. Leave your comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.